Ladies, gentlemen, and those being held in contempt of gender, welcome back to the Dire Bear Adventuring Company. It's Saturday, which means we are back for another episode of The Stolen Cities. I know, 2 episodes in a row. Concurrent weekends. Like, how freaking unprecedented.
It's a Christmas miracle.
Oh, yeah, concurrent weekends brought to you by AK Racing Gaming. No. Oh, man. Reoccurring gags. We love those.
Reoccurring?
Yes, reoccurring. What do you want from me? In any case, I am joined by Venolin's Carton. Ralakan.
Hello.
Cross. And the Swiss Army knife of backpacks. Everyone's favorite not Ultron. Jason. Oh, we love it here.
Yes, Jason is in a different room. Partner is watching Pirates of the Caribbean. I do not want to disturb her.
Fair enough. In any case, previously on the Stolen Cities, our party finally reached the vampire outpost of Dwight's Expanse, where, surprisingly, for the last vampire stronghold before the wall, they seem particularly non-militarized. Sending Ralakan in as the party's resident vampire to gather information, he learned that most of the vampires in the area have kind of resigned themselves to not necessarily breaching the wall. They'll attack the people that come out every once in a while if they're feeling up to it. But for the most part, military efforts to assault the wall by the vampires have come to a standstill. With the exception of a single adventuring party that about a month or so ago made plans to breach the wall. They were comprised entirely of new people who hadn't been to the outpost before. And as Ralakan was pondering the mystery as to who these people might be, Venolin and Cross found an outpost in an abandoned area of the forest. Under a tree, they found a small hideout in which 3 people had used it as shelter for a period of around 5 to 6 months before being contacted by a vampire who claimed to have been able to reach the wall. And Ralakan got a girlfriend!
TM.
What was that? 120K?
What?
No, fam. Like, how much was that DF?
Oh.
Listen,
you know what? We don't gotta talk about how many RuneScape bonds I gotta buy for that, right? We don't wanna talk about that.
Okay. I've never played RuneScape. And I wonder how you didn't clock that immediately.
I've been up since 4 in the morning.
What are you doing awake?
Drinking energy drink to stay alive. RuneScape is still a thing, and I spent $30 on membership. Someone help me.
You know what? Zach would say the same thing about the critically acclaimed MMORPG, Final Fantasy XIV. Winner of over 60 awards, and it's free to play up to level 60 with the award-winning expansion Heavensward. So,
I mean, apparently you could also get a Rathalos as a mount, so...
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. So, bonuses there and there.
In any case, Venolin learned from investigating the hideout that the adventurers who went with that vampire to breach the wall were her own family. her brother Jarnik, and her fathers Aethlin and Rallin. And they were brought by Alzin himself. And with that, we gotta wait for Maddie to say the words.
Yeah, speak of the Maddie.
I didn't call her the devil. And upon finding out that Venelin's family was the party that went with Alzin to breach the wall, she uttered the all too familiar words.
I'm gonna kill him.
I didn't do it! What? Oh, him. Okay. I need to be careful when waking up when she's mad. Yes, Alzin, murder. Good. Okay. So what's the plan? We have no idea where he is.
Oh, we do.
We do.
He's going to the wall.
Yes.
Yeah, but he's going to the wall. He's not at the wall.
So we wait at the wall for him.
Big problem with that.
They already left, and they're on their way to where we already know where he's going. That outpost that's beyond the wall.
You guys already know that, like, he left about a month ago. Which means that the stuff that you found in this outpost, about a month old.
And yes, Waffle, these hands are rated E for everybody. Although they should be rated A specifically for Alzin.
Viewer discretion is advised.
Vampire discretion is advised.
Alright, I'll leave.
Bye!
We know where he's going. We know what he wants. And that's that teleporter.
Just have to make sure he hasn't got there yet.
Yeah, rotten.
Well, we head to the wall and track him down. He's a vampire traveling with 3 half-elves, so, well, 2 half-elves and a full wood elf, but they'll stand out.
Understood. Shall I bring these rations with us? As he is dragging along an entire fridge.
I'm sure we could fit that in the trunk.
Jason measures the size of this freezer and measures the size of the trunk of a beetle.
Error, error, error.
There's just a big red X on his big eye.
Well, we could take what doesn't spoil and try to keep it as cool as possible on the way.
Not a bad plan.
Whatever we don't take, we can just go and plug the fridge back in. Come back for it later.
Good.
Wait,
And
did we Hold on, did we disconnect the fridge? I thought it was still connected.
You brought it up out of the flooded basement.
Ah.
Either that's an incredibly long cord, or
Yeah, unfortunately, you guys did unplug it.
oops.
Good question. Can Jason power the fridge?
Oh my god.
Just need to find an outlet.
Just need to find an outlet and find a way to hook it up to your body.
This calls for some Ralakan redneck science.
Yeah, with that duct tape that you apparently have that none of us understand what it is. Because you have the last fucking roll in existence?
See, I did some reading. Flash to Ralakan at the library reading with the book upside down.
Ralakan's a secret genius. I've called it since the start.
Just pulling in the Naue from Suicide Squad. So smart, me. Enjoy books so good.
You are the worst. I want you to know that.
Simic hybrid Jeff Sessions.
God damn it.
So, do you think it's possible? Yeah, you know what? Let's not and say we don't.
okay. I'm gonna tell you how that thought process was gonna end for you. Okay. The words that were gonna come out of your mouth was, "Is it possible to use the duct tape to attach it to Jason?"
No. It was gonna get much worse. Believe me.
We do, which is why we stopped you.
Yes.
If the
Anyhow.
gamer subs are working, my brain is expanding. I can stupid faster.
Shit.
I'm running 632 calculations in my head at once, and they are all wrong. You okay there, Maddie?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm good.
We find a place, plug the fridge in, leave it. Everything else, what we can take, we take with us.
Are there any outlets that we could see around here? That is preferably not underwater.
You guys can roll me an investigation check. Good luck.
Okay.
$15.
Oh.
$19.
Mm-hmm. Ready?
Again. That is, you said perception?
Yep. No, investigation.
Oh, investigation? That is a dirty 20.
Delicious.
Cross, you can feel a sort of electrical hum somewhere just outside the door to the basement. But you can't see, obviously.
Mhm.
So Venelin, kind of following you, looks around and finds a part of an outlet. It seems to have been partially overgrown by the tree. So you're pretty sure if you could hack off the edges of the tree and maybe pick out some bits from the outlet, you could use it there.
In the meantime, while they go around hacking a tree, Jason will be putting whatever rations he can into the car. Very neat, organized, and Tetris-like.
I am the one who arranges. Blah, blah. Okay. For some reason, the trunk of this thing is in the front.
Oh,
God, that's
yeah.
old.
Hmm.
Fuck. Well, does it work? Is the question.
Da-da-da-da-da. Sorry. Wrong YouTube channel.
Now, by does it work, what do you mean by that? Like, does the hatch work to open it, or does...
Does the hatch work? Does
Mhm.
does everything work for the vehicle?
As of now, you have not been able to find anything that doesn't work.
We've got the Todd Howard seal of approval. It just works.
Yeah, it was alright. So let's try to pop open the hatch and see what we can do.
You guys can fit a good amount of rations in here.
Excellent.
Just definitely not everything. You estimate about half.
Okay,
All
so
right.
roughly 2.5 people got it.
Hello?
What?
I'm hearing things. Let's move on.
Tim is a goddamn menace to society.
You're damn right.
And we love him for it.
Tim was Johnny's cement all along. Okay. So you've loaded up what looks like it could be about 3 days of luxury rations, but if you portioned it out, it could probably last you a week. And we're getting right back in the car.
Yep. I'm
So
driving.
long as we, y'all manage to get the tree out and plug the thing in.
I'm driving. Just let that know we are not letting Cross in the front seat to drive. Unless Venlin wants to drive. She's driving.
Thank you. Couldn't even get my mouth open to say that we were pulling out with Venolin in the front seat. And Rollickan's just like, I'm driving! And I feel like Venolin just kind of stares at him like, yeah? You sure about that? With her hand on a knife.
Listen, it's either I said it first or Cross got in the front seat.
A part of me's
He's
like,
not wrong.
a part of me's like, he'd make a great co-pilot.
And it is with that. You know what?
No.
Emotionally, physically, mentally, grammatically, chronologically, I am dead.
You know, there's gonna be a point where it's gonna be either us or something else. And it's going to come down to Cross having to know how to drive stick. And when that moment comes and he doesn't know how to drive stick, this is your fault.
To be fair, unless
It's
you're
all
gonna
on you.
tell us that this is all just a giant ass fake out and he's not actually blind, our apprehension over having you drive is valid and justified.
No, you're very much correct.
So this is the time to tell us that this has all just been a fake out, and that in which case we will gladly teach Cross how to drive stick. But if you are actually blind,
He's actually blind.
well then there's your answer.
It's simple, Waffle. You go from creating comprehensible sentences like Master Chief is on the cover of that Mountain Dew bottle to they put the Master Chief in the doder.
You want to show that I can understand?
That is how one grammatically
Put the
dies.
message.
Is it? Okay! That's news to me!
Getting in the back, pulling up my seatbelt.
Spaz. Spaz. Sometimes, Spaz, you have a stroke of genius.
Most
And
times
other
it's
ti-
just a stroke.
Yeah. Others, it's just a stroke.
I'd like to point out that I also said I was chronologically dead and no one batted an eye.
Yeah, because you're a vampire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, it's just taking that one out and I'm replacing it with something weirder.
I mean, technically, you now get to celebrate 2 days, like 2 birthdays. Technically. Because you get to celebrate your actual birthday, and then you get to celebrate the day that you became a vampire. You have 2
You're dead.
birthdays now, man.
Your death day.
Yeah.
You get to play You get to play in the club twice a year.
Okay, moving on.
What? You don't want to find Vampire 50 Cent?
We
He
don't have to talk about that.
exists?
Probably not.
No.
I think the only way that might be worse is if we had to go find vampire Kanye West.
Kanye do love Kanye.
Anyway, moving on.
So y'all are driving to the wall?
Yep.
Beautiful.
Jason attaches himself to the roof of the car. We are ready to go.
The wall is not far from where you guys are at right now. It's about 2 miles. The first mile goes by rather quickly and is marked off very quickly by what looks like a large overpass over a larger, wider road that stretches sort of going north-south, whereas you guys are going east. It fades into another set of abandoned towns and buildings that have succumbed to the overgrowth of life without people. And the lack of presence of any kind of humanoid life becomes very quickly apparent as you pass over this overpass into the latter mile before the wall. Very quickly, you start making note of what look like old battlements. You can see these sort of ballista-looking structures mounted into the asphalt on the edges so that vehicles could still drive through. You can see several obstructions that, from slight damage to the street that you guys are driving on, You can tell we're once in the middle of the street to obstruct vehicle traffic, but seem to have been away ever since. And as you get within about a quarter mile, you can hear commotion from beneath the wall. Perception check, everybody. Except Cross, because Cross is, this is something Cross would not be able to sense.
Okay.
I rolled the magic number. I rolled the funny number. I rolled a 23.
Okay, I thought you were going to say you rolled a 16 because it was a 6 and a 9. But,
Just a 12 for me.
You said perception?
yes.
It's 11 for me.
And just to save some RPing, as I see this, I describe quietly to the party what it is I see.
Well, you stick your head out the window, and you can see these turret-looking structures mounted every 50 or so feet along the wall. You remember that gun you got for Jason Apollo?
Yes.
Yeah.
It looks like if you took the barrel of that, put together around 4 or 5 of them, and just stuck them together.
Wonderful.
And they seem to be mounted every 50 or so feet along the wall. You can see several people traveling along the top of the wall, which seems to go about 50 feet high. And the street you guys are on seems to go into what looks like a section that was made to function as an entrance, but whether due to age or just due to misuse, doesn't look like it's been opened in a very long time. As you guys reach the quarter-mile mark, one person heads to what looks like a lookout tower on one side of the derelict entrance. And you assume they're casting thaumaturgy when their voice booms out across the expanse to reach. Identify yourselves!
I'm gonna let you handle that one.
I mean, after the great job you did with the lady vampire
Hello.
at club,
Oh!
oh god, he's
I'm an
outside of...
automaton known as running off of the Jenny script operating object notation. I am known as JSON. Some may call me V8.
At this point, Ralph, face palming, pops his head out the window, kind of like, you know what? Hold on a second. Let me just make sure I'm out of frame. Yup. Alright. I'm Ralph. My head hurts. It's just cold soup. I love you, Waffle.
Awful, that statement is my villain origin story, and you need to stop. Venelin will, just softly sigh and put the car in park before she steps out. And we're looking for somebody who came through here recently-ish.
This gate ain't been open in a couple decades.
Oh, good, we beat him here.
Oh, he found another way around.
Are there other
Why, yes.
ways? Are there other ways to get over the wall?
Not
Then-
without getting mowed to bits.
Do we have like a physical description of Alzin by any chance? Ral asks the party.
Well, I think I remember what he looks like.
Every time. Remind me to give Cross a hug.
Luke it. Friggin'
Yep.
Jason and Venelin may roll me a history check.
Thank
because
you.
admittedly it has been a while.
Histoire. That is a 17.
That's a 4.
I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna kill him.
I don't know what he
You
looks
better
like.
be
I'm
able to
gonna
point
kill
me at him so I can kill him.
Oh, someone. Oh, that's just me getting good calls. Well, player boon.
Player boon to Cross from Waffle for this with the statement, "Bless you."
Understood.
Thank you, Waffle.
Jason, you have a semi-detailed file on Alzen von Karst. Remembering him to be about 6'4", with a slim but well-toned build. With dark hair and these almost cat-like yellow eyes.
Jason is going to do his best to essentially describe him to a T of what memory or RAM allows him to describe. And so, essentially, we are looking for a rather tall elf. I mean, he wasn't an elf, right? He was just a...
He was an elf.
Okay.
Rather short for an elf, but an elf.
He was a below-average height elf with cat-like yellow eyes. Relatively well-toned, and whatever else you just told me.
Cool. You... It is silent for a short while. And Jason and Ral, you guys can make out that same guy in the lookout tower, kind of climbing his way down.
Mm-hmm.
And after a few minutes, you see somebody who seemed to have been manning a gun turret kind of like throw down what looks like a rope and start rappelling down. And as he does, that same guy returns to the lookout tower. This approach on foot.
Understood.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Hey, right.
Time to make the fish sticks.
It's nice knowing you, Relican.
I'll be fine. What's the worst that could happen?
They find out that you're a vampire and they kill you?
Fenelon's gonna walk with him.
Oh lord.
Jason's gonna pop off of the roof and walk alongside.
Yeah, that's gonna be great. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Two guardsmen climb down the rope to meet you guys. They seem to have swords at their hips, but both of them seem to be brandishing weapons not unlike that gun you guys got from Jason Apollo. Rather than that one that looked rather old and unkempt, these look well polished and fully capable of firing efficiently. And as you guys get within a distance that allows them to speak without projecting their voices, what do you know this guy from?
So...
How blunt is Venelin gonna be today?
Let's hear it.
I'm pretty sure he killed my family.
Hmm. And I kind of look at each other for a moment. How long you been looking for this guy?
About what
A
you'd
few
say
months now.
3 months? Ever since we've got direct evidence that he was responsible.
He's also responsible for quite a great deal of atrocities. If not putting an entire settlement of people's lives in danger for the sake of securing his own ends and means.
Pardon my asking, but where are y'all hailing from? The other one seems to kind of be eyeing her car.
What?
The car.
Hmm.
Hmm?
We came from New Old Manhattan. I'm not wrong. I am not wrong when I say that we are both from New and Old Manhattan at the same time.
You made it over the bridge? That place is crawling with nasties.
We
We have our
circumvented.
methods.
We circumvented the bridge.
We traveled through some of the tunnels.
In the car. Looks like a cord. Where'd you pick it up?
Oh, that was gifted to us from the leader of New Manhattan. For services rendered, as it were.
So what, you're seeking admittance so you can find this man?
Yes, and bring him to justice. Of some kind.
Give us a moment.
You know, I honestly thought we'd be dead by now. This is going on just swimmingly.
They seem to climb back up the... Yeah? Yeah?
A dagger with justice carved into it. Local This reminds me, Florida man killed neighbor with machete named Kindness.
Oh man.
Another day, another Florida man joke.
Honestly, I'm thinking about the woman that stabbed her husband with a squirrel.
W- eh,
Oh, bless Florida. They need it.
I'm thinking of the guy that robbed a Wendy's with an alligator.
Oh, that was fun.
Fucking what?
Yeah.
Okay. After about another 5 minutes, you guys hear a loud shunk of steel grinding into place, followed by the rattling of colossal chains as the gate begins to slowly creak open. This thing looks even older underneath the veneer than it looked up front, showing clear signs of rust and lack of use. As you're not sure how this thing still works.
Venolin is just gonna lean over to Ralakan and just, so what's the chances that we just did his job for him? Which is absolutely something I should have thought of beforehand, but,
Too blinded by needed rage?
yeah. Rage is healthy.
The blinded part.
Semantics.
No,
That was such a brilliant joke. I can't even be mad at that. That was so good. Top tier jokes coming from our boy Cross.
Tim, you have 12 temporary hit points.
You know what? Just for that.
Hang on, why don't I just pop out?
Thank you, Spaz.
Oh, look at me.
I'm sure that it's nothing to worry about. He had about, what was it, 3? Like he's had 3 months to plan this out, right? He's had. Knowing him and how impatient he was, he probably just found another way around. Water route, tunnels.
The guy in the watchtower asks you to walk through the gate on foot.
Can't leave the car behind.
Can we push the vehicle in? We've got rations.
We'll bring it in afterwards if you end up staying.
Fair enough.
Thank you for your cooperation. And Jason will march.
On in.
You guys cross through the gate onto another overpass. The road beneath looks destroyed, almost as though it was intentionally done so to make it more difficult to cross through, should somebody actually breach the wall from beneath. However, after heading over the overpass, you guys find yourselves in front of the closest thing to a proper military installation you've seen since Grand Central Station. There are dozens of cars, and nowhere near as small as your own. There are larger, though slimmer and more aerodynamic looking cars that seem to be outfitted with different smaller weapons, as well as larger cars that look like they're capable of storing between 7 and 10 people.
I want
Decked
one
out-
of those.
Decked out with some pretty bitchin' defenses.
I want one of those.
Ral, one bigger car catches your eye that seems to be equipped with a roll cage.
Oh, you can't do that to me!
While Venolin, a slimmer one catches your eye that looks extremely aerodynamic with tinted windows and a semi-transparent hood revealing quite the impressive looking engine.
You can't give me a van with the frickin' roll cage. Come on!
I mean, clearly he
Jason,
can.
Jason wants to become a car when he grows up.
Jason just wants to be a transformer.
Isn't he already, though? Like, isn't he technically
Yeah.
already a Transformer?
I transform into a backpack.
Transform into a backpack!
He's a mini-bot!
He's a minicon right now! He wants to be a full transformer!
He's
No!
a combiner class minicon.
I'm not gonna lie, I always thought Jason was more like a Bionicle than he was a Transformer.
Oh god, she's right!
Yeah,
Oh
that is
my
very true.
God!
He is a Bionicle! Oh god, he's like one of the Bulrock that could just like...
Hailing from the lands of Matanui.
I need to turn on the air conditioner. This is... I'm taking a lap. I'm taking a lap.
And just like that, Ral found the one part of the car that doesn't work.
Which is the ignition switch?
No, the air conditioning!
AC.
Wait! My time has come.
Oh no.
What?
Honey, you're full of hot air. That's not gonna help us. I'm sorry, it was right there. I couldn't help myself.
You could say my ego's getting a little inflated.
God damn.
Okay, but for real though, I have the duct tape. I
No, it
want to
doesn't
see.
work because there isn't one.
No. Is there a can? Is there workers' tools near the van?
It looks like you can see. No, I'm not talking about the air conditioning for the car, for the van. I'm talking about the air conditioning for the Beetle.
My point.
And yes, it does look like there seems to be some kind of garage near where all the vans are parked.
How about we check in first before we start messing around with their toys?
Yes.
Because as you guys start looking around, a couple of officers do come down and surround the party. Not like brandishing weapons or anything, but just as kind of like a precautionary thing. The gate is immediately closed behind you. And you are met by 5 officers. One of whom seems to be wearing something more akin to a captain's uniform. It's been a bit over 30 years since that gate was opened. Better have been for a good reason.
We hope so. I kind of like jazz hands towards Venlin as the party leader to do the speaking to the humans.
We have a problem with a man named Alzin, who has, likely killed a good portion of my family. As well as other war crimes and general atrocities. And he needs to be brought to justice, and the last we heard, he was coming for the wall. And if he found a way over it, well.
Been wondering when someone was going to turn up about that one.
Excuse me?
You have information about us.
He was brought in about 4 or 5 weeks ago.
Brought in?
Yeah, where I heard it, a couple hunters came in brandishing him. They came in through the north gate, a couple of miles up.
Oh.
Bring in anybody else. I have suspicion to believe he was traveling with a small group.
Just him and the 2 hunters that brought him in.
The 2 hunters. Were they elves, by any chance?
Some kind. Couldn't really tell what, except for the ears.
They didn't happen to give you names, did they?
They were a bit cagey about it, except for the vampire.
Venelin may not be committing wholesale murder, but we'll see.
Unfortunately, the whole bringing to justice thing may be a bit out of reach for a bit.
Why?
Vampires worked out something of a deal of sorts. He's
And
been working on something with the governor. Some sort of method of getting supplies without having to risk hunting parties going outside.
and you trust him.
Well, he's been surrounded by our best men 24 hours a day for the past month. Silver spears and bullets pointed at his head if he does anything.
And he's trying to get that teleporter working.
How do you know about it?
That's how we got past the bridge. And we destroyed the one on the other side.
Ugh.
I feel like there's a massive part of the story that he hasn't been telling everybody. And about where that teleporter actually goes.
Where is he now?
They're probably working on it now, over at the armory a couple miles up. You gonna need transport. You want to make the walk there yourselves.
Can't say I'm too fond of walking after the beautiful vehicle that we've had to leave on the other side of the wall.
Don't worry, it'll be in good hands.
Oh, I'm sure. But also, you wouldn't mind if we borrowed one of these vehicles, would you?
I'll have one of our officers escort you.
Wonderful. Much appreciated.
The 2 hunters he came in with, are they still around?
They've been doing some hunting work up north, over in the village. Haven't seen them down here in quite a bit. But I'm sure if you ask the governor over in the village, she'd be able to help you find them.
Can you please stop saying the village? My mind went somewhere completely where I did not want it to go.
Well,
And
you
I've
can
had
head right
Resident
over.
Evil on the brain all week.
Don't worry, the governor looks nothing like that. Or that. Get that fucking look off your face, No! 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 You're gonna get bonked! I'm gonna bonk you!
I was gonna say, I feel like Alex is about to pull out the spray bottle.
Nope! Alex in the ring with a steel chair!
Oh, he's got a family!
Are we quantifying the random vampire lady he met in the fucking bar as family now? Did we progress to that without them having a second date? This is great.
Wait, I thought you guys were my family. I see how it is.
Okay, Dominic Toretto, we'll see you over there.
Oh man, that meme got so old so fast because it wasn't funny to start with.
I don't know, y'all have been in the car for the past week.
We got a point of luck to the DM.
Oh, yeah. Because I'm gonna need it. I need to bonk Spaz with advantage. So,
I don't know why you gotta do that to me. I'm
very
just out here
simple.
trying to live my life.
Not with that attitude, you know.
Understandable. Have a nice day.
Anyway,
In any case. The captain waves over one of his officers from the garage. Says, bring one of the bigger ones. They're gonna need an escort to the armory.
Venlin, this is
Yeah.
going to be a bit of a difficult situation, by the sounds of it. If we want to stick around here and figure out what the hell's going on, I'm going to have to politely ask you to not just immediately become incredibly hostile towards him when we do get within range of him.
I will do my best.
On the bright side, it sounds like your family's alive and is working over at that village. So, there's that.
Yeah, there's that.
And eventually that officer comes up with one of the larger vans, although it does not look to be equipped with a rotate. Well, you can hop in the back. It's not a long trip.
Thanks.
Okay.
All right, we're going to the back.
Yep.
Back.
This, despite being decked out with some pretty sweet armor plating on the outside, the inside of this thing is surprisingly cushy. Madeline, you're pretty sure these seats are real leather.
Nice. We appreciate the accommodation.
Been a while since we've had visitors, especially with business here. Did I hear that right from the captain? Said guy killed your family or something like that.
I believe so, yes. However, given what you've been telling me, that may have been proven to be false. However, he has still committed other atrocities and needs to be brought to justice.
Any case, he's not going to be running away from where he's at for a while. However, don't think it pleased the governor very much if you were to kill him before he's done what he needs to do.
Speaking of which, forgive me for asking this, but who is this governor?
Miss Montefiore is the governor around these parts. She takes shelter over in the village up north about a couple of miles. And she's a bit more lenient than her lieutenant that you met back there, Captain Hatcher.
I see.
Honestly, you told anyone around here they'd be fraternizing with a vampire, they might have shot themselves first.
Rao leans a little further into the chair.
He kind of like eyes you as you do so.
I'm sorry, have you never seen a Simic hybrid before?
Never seen one so fancy.
I'm not used to being so far out of the water.
And you're a lot less far out than you think.
Say what?
It's an island. We're surrounded on all sides by water. Once we get to the armory, you'll be about a half mile out from the ocean.
Hmm.
Sounds like maybe somebody needs to go fishing while we're here.
No, I have not gone fishing in a hot minute. I would very
Yes.
much.
It's quite a nice bird watching spot over by the marina.
God
Bird!
damn it.
Jeez, calm down, Relica.
Damn it, he said
Let
the
me
thing.
tell you top 10 reasons why birds are the shittiest people on the planet.
Let me tell you something about Wrath!
Vetelin's just like, and there he goes.
As Rao launches into another famous tirade about why birds are bad people. Specifically people.
This poor one nameless NPC guard is now going to go through the rest of his existence knowing that there is just some crazy fishman out there who has just this massive hatred of birds.
Just this massive hard-on for his hatred of birds. And then he starts thinking about it and realizes that Ralakan's arguments are actually kind of valid, and that he starts hating birds too. But not to the degree that Ralakan does.
I don't think anyone could hate a bird like Ralakan hates a bird.
Fucking bird called Kingfisher, 11 to 14 inches. Kind of shit ass bird. Kind of shit ass bird calls itself Kingfisher.
I mean, if it's better than you,
Can it lift me? No. Therefore, inferior species.
My God.
are you sure about that?
Fucking virgin Kingfisher, 11 to 14 inches. Constrained.
Are you okay? Fast, have you by proxy developed an actual hatred of birds?
Yes! Yes, I have!
Has Ralakan replaced Nathan?
I got attacked this morning by fucking seagulls, okay?
Oh no.
And there
They
it is.
No! Real. Alright, tangent time because I have to go into this. My dad dropped me off at work today, and we went to the Dunkin' Donuts nearby to get some fucking coffee because it's 6 in the fucking morning and we're driving on the fucking highway and it's bullshit. Alright?
Okay.
So when I'm out to get coffee, and these assholes with wings that have no reason to be emotionally 6 feet long in wingspan come up and start squawking at me, I'm offended.
Emotionally?
You're good, Spaz. Good.
That's 9 psychic
felt-
damage.
I felt that passion.
And Spaz at disadvantage on all saving throws against birds.
Oh, I hate seagulls, man.
Ralakan hates birds so much he gets to reckless attack birds.
He
I mean-
enters a barbarian-like rage when confronted with a bird.
I mean, you sit there and complain about that happening. Imagine just, being on the street of New York. You get yourself a hot dog from the vendor, and suddenly a falcon just swoops down, picks it up out of your hands, and then flies away.
See, the problem with that was it wouldn't just take your hot dog. It would probably take your fingers.
Yeah, and that's happened. Because they brought in falcons and hawks to take care of the pigeon population.
That did not work.
And it didn't work, no, it just caused another problem.
Okay.
They work together to conspire against man.
As Ralakan is going off on this tangent about how much he just loathes birds. Man sounds like the protagonist of a Thai Tasmanian tiger game. Yep, I said it. Just loathes birds. Talks like one took his sister after she gave him a telescope for his birthday.
Listen, we don't
And-
talk about my sister like that.
One day you'll have a GameCube and get that joke. But eventually the officer in question stops at what looks like this massive stone complex. Well, we're here. Do try to contain yourself.
I make no promises.
Wasn't talking to you.
I also make no promises. But I also apologize for him. So that was a lot. Ralakan, you really need to relax on the bird thing.
I'm not apologizing.
No, because I did it for you. But again, you have to relax on the bird thing. Like, they're having this conversation as they're walking off to go where they need to go. Like,
We love you, Ralph. Even as you are an eternal pain in the ass. You guys enter the armory. And, this place is dead. Madeline, you remember those, metal shelves that lined your parents' kind of, study?
Yep.
Where they would keep their, arcane items and things like that?
mm-hmm.
There are shelves of these stacked dozens of feet tall to the ceiling,
Fantastic.
all filled with crates upon crates of what you can only assume to be weapons. Lots and lots of weapons. You can see on the ground floor that there are spears that look like they're made of silver. There are what look like firing ranges where cats are the guardians of the underworld. Vampires might actually be weak to cats. There seem to be firing ranges where some of the officers are testing out weapons, large and small, against what look like humanoid bodies made of some strange gel.
They're firing at ballista gel?
You don't know what the hell a ballistic is, but yes.
Amazing. Something. I reject your reality and substitute my own.
Okay, Cropsley, I'll take it from here. And a guy in another captain's uniform comes in. Ralph Hector, I'm in charge of the armory for today. What can I do you for?
We're here to see Elzen.
You're telling me the piece of shit's got visitors?
No, we're telling you the piece of shit's got people here who are, aiming for justice and accountability for the nasty, awful things that this man has done. And, hopefully preventing you all from dying in the process.
Listening to your tone, he kind of cocks an eyebrow a little bit. He goes, pardon my warning, but if the sort of justice you're implying is the one that comes at the end of a knife, I may not be able to take you to see him. I'm under strict orders from the governor to keep him not safe, but not dead.
And you're 100% certain you know what he's doing back there? And that he hasn't lied to you about what he wants to do?
I think his hands are tied by the governor's word.
I don't think that would stop a vampire this old.
I'm not talking about Elzen being tied by the governor.
True. I just want to go in and talk to him. I would be more than happy to leave all of my weapons here.
She just wants to talk to him. She just wants to talk to him. She just wants to shoot him. She just wants to talk to him.
And as you kind of put your arms up, Ralph waves over two officers who start inspecting the party. If you guys want to see Elzen, you will need to hand over any and all weapons.
Am I considered a weapon?
They give you one look, and nod their heads.
I will wait out here.
Man, it's a good thing they can't see Cross's weapons.
Cross plans to cut off his hands.
Just gotta block himself off from his astral arms and all that shit. No, Venolin, and this is where shit gets kind of funny. I gotta ask, Spaz, how many weapons does Ralakan carry?
Let's
Not
see.
enough.
I've got 65 arrows. I've got the vicious longbow. I've got the dagger. I've got the longbow. I've got the net, and I've got a sickle. I'm gonna count the torch as a weapon. Technically, you could use tinderbox as a weapon.
Count the pile of rocks that you've turned into bombs.
We don't gotta talk about that.
Blue sticks of dynamite.
They get over
bombs.
they bring a female officer to inspect Venolin as she pulls a knife out of every possible area.
And these are not knives that you've ever seen on her person before. You're pretty sure they probably came from her dad's jacket instead. But there is a brace of throwing knives that just suddenly materializes out of the jacket. There's 6 separate sized stilettos, which are used to assassinate targets as you're walking by them. There are the daggers you knew she had, the 2 rapiers you knew she had, the short bow, which was not strung, the arrows that go with it. She pulls out 15 different sized stakes and sets them down before she just shrugs out of the jacket, because the jacket is also a weapon.
Meanwhile, Rao's got a gunpowder, nitroglycerin,
Yes!
fuse, wicks,
Yes!
glue, big ones. Just office supplies.
Y'all really gotta remind me of Disney's second biggest mistake.
Oh my
Mistake!
god, mistake!
That's a hot
No,
take.
no, 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 no. Hang on. Because their second biggest mistake was allowing that movie to die.
Yes.
Yes. You
Their
are
first
correct.
biggest mistake was Treasure Planet.
Which was allowing that movie to die.
Yup.
Very well, good sir.
Two of the best movies Disney has ever made. Just. They got the guy who invented Klingon to create the Atlantean language. That's a
They had
whole
Leonard
speakable
Nimoy
language.
as the king of Atlantis.
He was.
Leonard Nimoy was the Atlantean king.
The
They
more
got-
you know.
Don't.
So
And upon ensuring that everyone is disarmed of their weapons, and Jason is
He's just sitting in a corner with the pile of weapons.
just
Just
in
lonely.
backpack mode, or as close as he can be now that he's fully armored.
Barrel mode.
You guys are brought through the armory to its basement, where you can see in almost pristine form, untouched by the dirt and grime and undergrowth that you saw in the Colosseum one, another teleporter. Several parts look as though they have been replaced entirely, though not out of the same materials that you saw in the previous ones. And standing in front of the control panel, sporting some rather interesting jewelry, is the very familiar visage of Alzan von Karst. He seems to be sort of like uttering directions at a couple of officers who seem to be helping him with repairing another section of the teleporter. And he seems to be sort of like reading off of a notepad or a clipboard or something like that. But as he's doing so, you guys notice that he seems to be wearing some strange adornments on both of his hands as well as both of his ankles.
Do they
Ralph is-
basically have this man in a shock collar?
Ralph is standing behind you guys. He goes, Karst! You got visitors! And you have, like... He does this rolling with his head that Venelin, you know, is usually accompanied by an eye roll because you've done it enough times. He goes, what in Sangren's hell do you mean I have visitors?
I
I'm in
kind
a
of
human
whisper.
outpost in the middle of hillbilly hell. What do you mean I have...
The moment he mentions Sangren, I'm going to aside to Cross. We shouldn't mention that in any capacity. Maybe.
Oh. And this is when he looks up the stairs as you guys are walking down. His eyes look on fire. And he gets this very toothy looking grin as he regards you all. Oh, what have we here? And here I thought you weren't harboring a dangerous asset to the people of Maddengar. And he kind of nods succinctly up the stairs.
And
We're
here I thought
not.
vampires could brush their teeth. Close your mouth.
We're not harboring a danger to Madengard at all. Never were. He wasn't a danger to them. He was, however, a danger to you, which is why you wanted to get rid of him. But that's neither here nor there. He is fully reassembled. And,
And if it isn't the runt of the letter,
what did you promise my family, you son of a bitch?
answers, which I'm pretty sure they have by now, thanks to their ruse to bring me in. They've been treated quite handily to the governor's library. Lots of old history that thankfully wasn't touched by the uprising.
And you? What are you doing here with this teleporter, sir?
But obviously fixing it so that the people of this place can use it.
Oh, the people of this place and not you. Right?
Whether or not I get to use it is immaterial compared to the amount of use these people will get.
You want me to believe, after you sent your psychotic girlfriend to kill us, that you've turned over a new leaf and are helping humans and mortals? Really?
No, I
Oh, don't
forgot
kid
that.
yourself.
Yeah, did you forget we killed his crazy psychotic girlfriend? Because I didn't.
No,
Yeah,
I forgot. No,
I vividly remember killing her.
no, I forgot that she was his girlfriend. That's what I forgot.
Don't kid yourself. Believe me, were it not for the fact that it was getting me something I desperately needed, I'd have eaten every single one of these people and made my way out.
So what's on Manhattan Island that you need? Or more specifically, New Manhattan. Because you know there was probably an easier way to just take a boat to it now.
I'm sorry. What?
Yeah, New Manhattan's now currently relocated. It's now in the ocean.
If there was any blood in Alzen's face, it would have drained. What did you people do?
We helped.
Kind of started with the Artemisians coming in from the Feywilds. Everything kind of snowballed from there.
And how did that spiral into Sangren escaping from that core?
Well, before I answer that question, what do you want to do with Sangren? Other than clearly using it as some sort of unlimited power source.
Well, if the answer was you killed him, you would have answered. So where is he?
Well, I'm currently wearing him right now. I kinda kicked his ass and shot him in this.
Raul's just like shrugs, like, he do what he do.
And I know it's not gonna hold him forever. So you don't have to throw that in my face right now. And yes, I know he's laughing at me right now. Been hearing it for the
Tell me,
past
did
few
you have a
nights.
plan to seal him permanently? Did you have a plan to kill him, to put him somewhere where he could never return?
We're working on that.
I've been working on that for about 200 years.
And yet
Any
we have made
ideas?
more progress than you have in such a short amount of time. It's amazing what mortals can do. I apologize, Cross. You were saying?
No, it's perfectly fine. I understand. You have every right to be angry with him. After all, it's not every day that somebody who clearly has some sort of ulterior best of intentions here and there goes about the wrong way of trying to accomplish their goals. But I digress. You've had so long. Do you have a frickin' plan?
Yes, one that involves me vastly increasing the power of this teleporter.
Okay.
I've gotten it much stronger. It's able to transport across longer distances, but it's going to need to be significantly further enhanced if I'm going to get it to go where I need it to go.
Where do you plan on sending him?
Less where I plan on sending him and more where I plan on going. I'm sure you saw it when you made contact with him, right?
Mm-hmm.
A city made of blood.
Yes.
Entities like that, when they grow powerful enough, create sort of worlds for themselves. You're from the Feywilds. What am I talking about?
You want to go and challenge him? In... Actually, no, that would be the only way to destroy him properly.
Even if you were
Challenging
able to
someone
kill
in
an
their own
avatar of him out here, it wouldn't have any guarantee of destroying him entirely.
You have to go to the throne world.
And unfortunately, without making contact with him in the extremely foolhardy way that you did, there's only one place to go to get there. His supposed home. It's not around here.
Okay. So how much of this have you actually told the governor? Or have you just simply told her that this is a magic food machine that they could just send people back and forth to the supermarket?
More of the latter. Something that I neglected to tell Vedran, when I was developing this thing, is that a second teleporter is not technically required to use it, merely to return to it. Punching in a set of coordinates will get you a straight one-way ticket to where you need to go. However, getting back is the tricky part. I've been able to do return trips from very short distances, a mile, 2, if I have the exact coordinates of the people I know are there. But beyond that, you need another teleporter to do it. And the only reason I've been able to do it with this one is because we've gotten some significantly better materials to augment it with.
I can tell. By the sounds of everyone and everything of how shiny it sounds, I can definitely tell that these are probably better materials. But you do understand what happens to a throne world after its controller dies, don't you?
But that we have an astonishingly short amount of time to get out before it collapses.
Yes.
When I had this plan, I imagined that Vedran might be alive. Though given that you've told me that the city has fallen, I can only assume it's no longer the case.
Yeah, he's pretty dead right now. His brother had a bit too much fun with that one, I want to say.
Ah, so that old coot is alive. Wonderful. Always liked Beltran. Had a bit of a cunning way about him. You look like you're not sure whether to ask me a question or punch me in the face.
I kind of want to do both. But I won't. Matter of fact, I'm not going to do either. Because I'm going to go talk to the governor. And I'm going to go find my dad's. And my brother, if he's around. Which unfortunately I highly doubt. So. Rothican, Cross, if you guys have any other questions for Alzin. I've asked all I want to.
What happened to the rest of the people from Vanguard?
Well, after the teleporter was destroyed, they staged something of a revolt. Some died, some turned, but most of them escaped back through the tunnels. As far as I know, they're right back in the rat hole they crawled out of.
Now I have to beg the question. Why would someone like you want to try and destroy Sangrid? Cause, I'm not gonna lie, your track record so far seems to be rather just from a great deal of perspective of either kill or use the humans to get what you want. What do you want? What is the end goal of all of this for you?
Once upon a time, it was to kill Vedran, believe it or not.
Well, congratulations was granted. If you didn't go after V, we wouldn't have ended up in the Flying City, and Vedran would probably still be alive right now. So good job, mission accomplished on that.
Yeah, I got nothing. I have no more questions. I kind of flip him the fin and walk off.
With Vedran dead now, what's the next goal? Clearly Sangrid was somewhere in that plan if you're planning on using this to go to him.
I suppose to stop another veteran from taking his place. Vedran built his utopia upon a pile of bones. I know that my methods are nowhere near as noble as is. But I think I can say with some confidence that our interests, at least for now, are aligned.
Very much so. My mother always had a very unique saying, is that one can often catch more flies with honey than they do with vinegar. Good tends to attract good. Bad tends to attract the bad. But I don't trust the idea that you would make a one-way trip for yourself without having another way back.
Provided he dies and I make my way out, then I'm in another place, another end of the world. Nobody knows my name.
Sorry, this itch.
Just keep your wits about you, Elsa, and we'll be back.
Don't have much else to keep about me, especially with these on. I'll be seeing you. Okay. Venlin, as you're on your way out, are you going to take Jason with you?
Yes.
Just imagining the claim check desk of just
Don't think, don't think.
one box of stilettos, one death coat, one killer robot.
It's the killer robot, man. That's what they're most worried about, is the killer robot.
Yeah.
What do you mean you let her walk out of here with that? I don't know, man. I wasn't about to stop her. Have you seen that thing?
It was offering me high fives and tea. It was terrifying.
It was killing me with kindness, and I didn't understand how to handle it.
The battle axes that Jason wields are just named
Kindness.
Kind and Ness.
I hate it here.
It's like naming a gun due process.
I mean, I did my guns Law and Order.
I almost said something not safe for work, but very bad.
Anyhow, I guess we have to go to the village if we want to get our answers. Our
Guess so.
answers lie in the village.
I presume you relay this all what you learned to Jason.
yes.
Oh yeah.
So Jason turns out, Elzen, of course, has an ulterior plan of doing whatever the hell it is he's doing.
See,
And we may have a go-to plan to deal with the other plan.
wonderful.
So,
And that plan is Plan A, Plan B. How many plans are there?
A lot.
there are a lot of plans. Also a lot of plants around here. It's nice on this side.
And Officer Cloxley takes you guys back into his van and starts heading back north towards the way you came.
I thought we went north.
No. The armory is further south, near the water.
Okay.
Okay.
You guys find yourselves finally passing the road that you took, like the road that you came off from the gate, and see another sprawling forest before you, gated off by metal and stone barriers.
Uh-huh.
And you guys can see several houses set up with quite their own sprawling little plots of land throughout this forest as well. Though, much like in Dwight's Expanse Cross, you can sense an area of the forest that hums with fey magics off to the end, where there don't seem to be any paths laid out for it. As you start to reach the center of the village, Croxley stops in front of what looks like an old wooden house. This is her quarters.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you for your help.
I'll be outside when you're done.
Understood.
Okay, well, Veneline's not gonna waste any time, and she's just gonna walk up and knock on the door.
Mm-hmm.
Does she answer said door, Alex?
After about a moment, a man in a three-piece suit answers the door. He's, oh, hello. I don't think the governor was expecting visitors today.
No, probably not. But we're here to discuss matters of great importance with them.
Steward, what's all that racket downstairs? And finally, you can see this woman at the top of the stairs, who seems to be wearing some rather light clothing. It looks as though she just finished, I suppose, gardening. She's wearing some, light pants and some gloves that seem to be still caked with a bit of dirt. As well as this very baggy-looking black shirt that she has tucked in. Almost like it's a couple sizes too big for her. It's not hers.
Governor,
Yes, can I help you?
I hope so, perhaps. We came here to deliver Alzin to justice for the various atrocities that he has committed over the course of his couple centuries lifespan.
And what, you came here for my permission?
Well, one of your officers wouldn't let me into the room with my weapons, so yes, I am here for your permission. After all, it is my understanding that he's been attempting to assist you in making things easier for you to gain supplies.
Quite. As the closest settlement to the wall, we don't really have the access to resources that some of our neighboring towns further east do.
Has he told you what that teleporter is for?
Said the vampires constructed them ages ago. Amalgams of then modern technology and newer magics, designed to transport people over long distances.
It does do that, but generally don't trust so many people that you can, as far as you can throw them, especially in his case. Kind of screw loose, though I'm one to talk.
These other settlements further east, are there other teleporters out there?
Not that we know of, and not according to his word, though granted I haven't taken it for it. But if there are any, the other settlements aren't talking. We have reached out, but they seem rather clueless about it.
We have had our experiences with Alison in the past. And there may have been something about this teleporter thing that he has not told you about yet, which is that return trips, if you can lock on to somebody, I'm sure he's probably mentioned something like that, hasn't he?
Yes, the provided proper coordinates, he can get a return trip going within about a mile, maybe 2.
Okay. Okay, so he has told you about that. When he was brought in, was there any mention of what he has actually done on the other side of the wall?
Only that he was a few centuries old and had been terrorizing some people out west.
Fair enough. I think we just wanted to make sure that you understand dangerous individual, but you seem to have everything in hand given the security around him.
I hope you didn't think I let him keep any jewelry. And she kind of shakes her wrist to remind you of the sort of adornments that he was wearing.
I'm afraid I don't know what you mean.
She kind of leans down to look at you, and then notices and immediately kind of gasps and apologizes.
It's all right.
Those bracelets I had installed on him when he came here. They're granulated silver dust encased in capsules. Should he venture too far from the compound, they detonate.
Okay, Spider.
I mean, that wasn't where I got it. I wrote
So
this
much?
campaign. Thank you, but also, I wrote this campaign way before that, many.
Freaking shotgun collar much?
Sure, but also, okay, Spider.
Fuck off.
Apologies. Continue.
Understood. That being said, the people that had brought Alzin in are actually relatives of our friend Fenelin here. Could you perhaps assist us in locating them?
Well, the one that's still active is on a hunting mission at the moment. I believe he's up north following the forest line upward towards the parkway. However, the other two are a bit of another story. One's been holed up in the forest library for some time. Said that Alzin explained it would have answers regarding the origins of the vampires. Well, the third, according to the other two, he was injured about a week before their arrival here. And unfortunately, I do not know his fate.
Could you, could you direct us to the library?
Yes, you can just head slightly west. Follow the dense foliage towards the wall, and you'll find the entrance.
Thank you. I understand that you've taken precautions, but Alzin is not to be trusted. Whatever he is doing for his benefit and not yours. You are just a convenient means to an end.
Just careful.
It's always wise to keep your guard up. Potentially second guess the words that come out of his mouth.
Or just, detonate the collars. Just for fun.
Just be done with him.
Please.
And I would gladly accept that as justice served.
Cross, oddly enough, shaking his head, just like,
No, she wouldn't.
just Don't.
It's not her hand on a knife coming out of his chest.
Maybe just not destroy him.
The only good vampire outside of Ralakan is a dead one.
Please don't tell me you said that out loud.
Oh.
No. She,
Please don't tell me you
no. She did not say that out loud. No.
Okay, Venny Roosevelt.
Happened with many good, nice vampires on New Manhattan.
No, Venelin will politely thank the governor for the directions, and then she is heading off westward to the library. Because she knows which one's in the library.
Thank you very much for answering our questions and having this time to speak with us. We're sorry for disturbing you.
Have a nice day.
And she gives you a faint bow before returning to her study.
Always gotta be libraries, huh?
I guess so. You don't have to come in with me if it's going to make you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah. I don't really mind it too much. After all, the only things in there are words, and I can't see them, so they can't hurt me.
Fair enough.
just takes a strong sip of water.
I'm going to be 2 minutes.
Okay.
How about you, Ral? You okay with going back into a library?
I mean, I have no idea what could possibly upset me this time.
You find a book that tells you that vampirism and simic hybridism do not mix well.
No, I
You
just find them. I find Hood Nature, and it's just the episode of Cassowaries. That's exactly what I find. I find Hood Nature and Cassowaries. Just biblically a bird that is too large to stay alive.
So, who's ready for this wonderful fake court roller coaster again?
Yay! Oh, fuck!
Listen,
Shit, I just realized what library we're going in. This isn't good.
Yeah, this isn't good.
No, we burned his book.
We burnt that bridge a long time ago.
Oh, no.
But to be fair, he is kind of an asshole.
yeah, he is.
And we are significantly stronger now.
Yeah, I know, Waffle. Listen, we can't even mock Australia for losing to bulletproof birds.
The Emu War was my favorite war.
They're bulletproof, and they recognized the sound of the trucks and the army vehicles coming in.
They're too powerful.
They're unnaturally, unapologetically athletic. They literally broke the ankles of the trucks of the drivers. For every 10 bullets, we killed one emu.
So, do you think that we might need to do a bit of a recap for the audience to remind them why a library is probably not a good thing?
Oh,
Specifically
absolutely.
this
Wait,
one?
yeah.
Well, I'm pretty sure that these archives that we're going to are not the library.
Okay.
But I have a very good reason to believe that if we're going to go see your brother, the reason that he's in that library gathering information is not for his own well-being.
Remembering, of course, that I will say, outsmarted very briefly an archfey named Nella here, who is part of the Fey Court of Knowledge, and deals specifically with people's true names. Venelin found her brother's name in one of the books,
Yep.
which was not the book we took, and summarily burned. The book we took and summarily burned was the one with Cross's name in it. So, her brother is still very much under control of Nella here.
And in Nella here's case, let's kind of put yeah, I'd say the best way to describe him is like fantasy brainiac. He just wants to hoard all of knowledge.
He also may or may not be a humongous centipede man.
Actually, I did suplex him.
You
He
did.
did. It was great.
Honestly, I'm too sober for this. Just to give me a second, guys. I will yeah, just I'm good. But for real though, I am actually gonna get a beer. So I will be right back.
Whew. I cleared my sinuses a bit. But yeah, this is gonna be fun. I hope everybody remembered their library card.
I haven't gone to the library IRL and in-game in an offensive amount of time.
Well, the last time that you went to the library, you had an existential crisis.
And made poor decisions because of it.
Good times.
You opened up a book and became face to face with your mortality.
Yep.
Real good times.
You know, the more I drink of this IPA, the more I realize I don't like IPAs. I don't like beer that much.
Stop drinking again.
But I want to get buzzed and lightly. And everything else that they have is a hard spirit that will give me hives.
So you're
I'm very
telling me
sorry
you don't
about
like the taste of hops and an entire pine tree?
Pretty much.
That's what I come in on.
Waffle, that's mean. We're all looking for picture books.
Bold of you to assume that I can understand the meaning of the picture.
Okay. You guys get through the dense foliage to find what looks like it was once a library that seems to have been entirely colonized by a massive oak tree. This does not look like the kind of building that would have a downstairs. So the fact that the only opening into this seeming library seems to be a set of stairs going ever downward is a tad unsettling.
I honestly have a feeling we're getting flashbacks. Just going down the staircase.
Maybe a little bit.
This time around, we're gonna not hesitate, are we?
No hesitation.
I don't have my gear with me.
What do you mean you don't have your gear with you?
But didn't we not get our gear back?
Didn't go
Rick's
to
still
the
here.
flame desk?
Honestly, my mind was slipped. I didn't even realize we did get our gear back. I thought we
I
were.
guess you didn't. No, I'm kidding. You can.
Well, I think the armory's about good 6-7 miles that way.
Would you like me to accompany you to retrieve your gear?
No, no, I just misplaced it.
I see.
It's literally on me. I'm just not all here at the moment.
Fair enough. Just remember, you have to give him your name yourself. That's how it works. And I
And
don't think he's gonna be too happy to see us.
the non-flashbacks are very justified. The stairs turn quickly from dirt to wood to stone until they finally turn into polished oak. As you find yourselves surrounded by dozens of feet of bookshelves. Before you stretches a massive table with dozens of books splayed out in different areas, some closed and bookmarked, most of them open with feathers or bookmarks laid in them, many of them with texts in different portions of the margins to indicate important areas.
Wow.
There seems to be a man at the far end, just very, very deep in reading.
This is a very important question. What
Mhm.
color is his hair? Is it green or black?
It looks to be green.
Okay. Hmm. Fenelon is gonna stop at the threshold for just a minute before she calls out at the top of her lungs in Elvish, father, which in Elvish it's Ada, so ADA. So Cross would understand her. But yeah, she just yells out father in Elvish to get his attention.
So now that all of China knows we're here,
Yeah,
That's gonna. Mm-hmm.
The
Mhm.
man looks up and kind of blinks twice for a moment. It rubs his eyes with his forearm to readjust his vision. Moves the torch out of the way so the light isn't in his eyes. And slowly rises from his seat.
she's running.
And at the sight, he sort of backs away 2 steps, kind of putting his chair in between you. He didn't get you too, did he?
Nella here? No.
And just shuddering, he pushes the chair inward and brings you very quickly into a hug.
I... You're all bastards. I hope you know that. She isn't letting him go, but she is definitely still calling him and the other 2 in the family bastards.
The blame is on me. I got us into this mess, and it's my fault we didn't wait for you to get us out of it.
You didn't even tell me where you guys went. There was nothing. The amount of blood left in the apartment. I thought you guys were dead.
Mostly Jonix. He took some time healing. However, part of me wishes I'd come alone.
You know Papa wouldn't have let you do that.
Yes, and look where it landed him.
I know. He still wouldn't have let you come alone. Sorry. This was a little bit rude of me. Ada, these are my... This is my found family. Cross, Jason, and Ralikam. And she introduces by gesturing to each of them, or each of you, before she turns to look at you. This is my father, Rollin. One of them, anyway. The other one is out hunting because that's what he's good at. So, Ada's the spellcaster of the 2 of them.
Wonderful. It is a pleasure to meet you. You have raised a very respectable young woman.
You don't have to lie to me, Jason. It's good to meet you as well, Ralakan, and he talks quite a bit about you. Do you prefer Cross or Conan?
They're interchangeable. Personally, I'm not a big fan of him. He's not... Well, you know how he can be, can't you?
Believe me, I do. Forgive me for entertaining the false hope that one's so obsessed with documenting every bit of knowledge in the world wouldn't omit knowledge on how to return one's true name.
Well, that's rather easy.
Shite. One second.
Well, easier said than done, at least.
Yes. Steal the book, then burn it.
Just steal the page with the name on it and burn it. That's it.
And try not to die in the process. That sounds uncomplicated.
Just kill the Fey God of Knowledge in his throne world.
Again.
And that does it.
Again.
Easy.
Again.
My god, if only it was actually that simple. Could you imagine?
I mean, technically speaking, killing people is easy.
Oh, absolutely.
It's playing the games at trying to appease them is the pain in the ass.
Mm-hmm.
True.
I mean, look around us. We're surrounded by musty tomes, dust, and wood.
I am a literal furnace.
Just-
We have a literal furnace.
Literally just set the whole fucking place on fire. Burn it to the ground.
Just
Set a fire and be
I
done
would
with
like
it.
I would like to point out the last time we did that, it did not end well.
No, the last time we did that, we did it as a distraction.
the last time we did that, we were doing it to just steal one book.
This time we're gonna burn the whole fucking library to the ground.
In this case, all we just gotta do is just burn the whole damn place down. This is one of the rare occasions where I, as a player, am in perfect favor of let's just burn the forest down.
Well,
That's it, ladies and gentlemen. That's how it's gonna happen.
Nella here is 100% just kill it with fire.
Well, of course, this man's a fucking giant centipede. Of course, it's kill it with fire. God, that's like borderline. You found out that you found a spider in the house, and it's just no, just burn the entire fucking building to the ground.
nah, I believe it's if you find a big enough bug in the house, it gets the keys to the house, and if it has wings, it gets the keys to the car.
Get the flamer. The heavy flamer, brother.
Brother, I am pinned here. Oh man. PSA to all viewers: if you see what is known as a spotted lanternfly, kill it dead. Kill it dead.
The hell
Only
is a
other-
spotted lanternfly?
It is an invasive species that is quarantining areas of the United States right now, and they are A, tree killers, and B, have bougie tastes. They like hops and they like grapes.
People like grapes.
Stay the fuck away from my grapes.
They kind of fancy though. Got that
Kill them
drip.
dead. Kill them dead.
Alright then.
No.
They are an invasive species and have no known natural predators in the United States.
Today I learned.
Murder.
To
murder.
import a natural predator to take care of this invasive species.
True. That's the main problem, is that we keep doing that.
You just gotta import another one to take care of that.
As we stare at the pigeons.
Get bears. Oh, you are muted, Alex.
Import Simic hybrids, they'll kill all the pigeons.
Probably.
No. Just
Maybe.
clone Ralakan. He'll kill all birds. Alright, I'm gonna need you to stop with that smile. Spaz, that's terrifying.
So,
Stop that.
funny enough, we do have a way of restoring a true name. But
It's
not
gonna
exactly sure.
break your heart, Ada.
It's the sad way.
Because it's the solution that involves you doing it with fire. And, the destruction of knowledge.
You know how hard I've tried to burn that book.
You have it.
He taunts me with it. Every so often he'll come, he'll bring him here. Make me look at him. Tortures him in front of me.
I think we might have something hot enough to do that.
What are you proposing?
Well, it's definitely a far cry from what I went through. I don't want to invite him back into my home. Again. Especially this time without the Artemisians waiting for him on the other side. But we do have access to a magical furnace that can in fact burn his books.
Where would you find such a thing?
Ada, please allow me to reintroduce you to Jason.
Oh yeah, Jason could probably do that too now, couldn't he?
I do produce fire. In fact, I literally smelt weapons.
Which would make
My
it
entire core is made out of fire.
which would
Silver.
make it a magical fire, which would be enough to burn the book. However, he will know as soon as we start.
And when he starts, it's hard to get him to stop. That's the problem.
Yes.
Unless we distract him with, as he gestures all around him, the source of his power.
As I said, Ada, you're not going to like the solution.
You know how much we've gleaned from this place in the time I've been here.
Knowing you, incredibly insane amounts.
Do you know how many people's lives he's destroyed gathering this knowledge?
Thousands, tens of thousands, no doubt.
Easily. To be honest, I'm surprised Papa hasn't gone on a one-man rampage to kill an archfey.
Well, Papa's not in the best of sorts at the moment.
What do you mean?
I assume you were led here by John Nick's letter, given you're wearing the jacket.
Yes.
Ethan was injured shortly before Alzin came to us. They have quite the proficient medicine here, and he's been able to stave off the effects of the wound for quite some time, but it's been a month.
The wound.
You of all people know most people don't survive a week under conversion without going insane.
Of course, if they have an iron will, that's a different story. Ada, what bit him?
A thrall of some kind. We're unsure whose. You were traveling along the north path. Path of least resistance, we were told by some of the people in the outpost up there. Is the presence of these seemingly leaderless thralls that seem to have gathered in packs around one another that led us heading southward towards here.
Did we find that they were leaderless, or did we know that they had somebody?
The thralls or the outpost?
The thralls.
I believe David did mention in passing that most of the vampires proper, like the full vampires, had headed southward. They hadn't seen any leaders to the thralls that were around here in some time.
Okay.
Yeah, just they acted in packs like wild animals.
Yeah. I just couldn't remember what what we had found out about that. That was all. And of course, the path of least resistance did not turn out to be the path of least resistance. Because of course it didn't.
Well, unfortunately, I followed steps 1 and 2 and neglected to follow step 3.
You followed steps 1 and 2, and didn't follow 3.
Unfortunately not, as the plan going off the rails was the last thing I expected.
Uh-huh.
Conan, you're aware of the plan, right?
Mm-hmm.
They teach you about the plan as a child, right?
It was one of the very, very, very few things that was constantly drilled into my head by my teacher.
But in any case, I've been holed up here trying to figure out how to save him, pointing down a hallway, him pointing upstairs. And figure out how I'm going to figure out this whole vampire business.
Well, on the bright side, we have, well, more interesting news in regards to the vampire problem.
And what might that be?
Well, I'm sure Alzen brought up that big city in the sky.
Yes, quite.
Okay, well now it's down in the ocean, and it was housing a blood god.
And he spoke about Sangren in detail. What happened to it?
Bedwith just points across.
I kind of
Rowland,
beat the crap out of him and shoved him in a ring.
Rowland is making a face that, like, Remember what Syndrome says, you dense?
Mm-hmm.
Rowland's making that face right now.
Put it simply, if I didn't put him in the ring, he would have broken out of his containment unit. Whatever the hell Vedran had him contained inside of wasn't holding. He was just using Vedran as a puppet.
At first, I contemplated a method in which it could be sealed here, but I shudder at the thought of somebody like him having access to something like that.
Alzen told us what his plan is.
Which was?
Oh, he didn't tell you what his idea was. Wonderful.
Unfortunately, we got ever so slightly ambushed, and Aethlin was a bit better at step 4 than I was, choosing to use Alzen as our quote-unquote prisoner.
So Alzen has convinced the governor here to allow him to work on the teleporter here. I'm sure he's told you about the teleporter.
Yes.
Okay. He wants to use that to go to Sangren's realm and destroy Sangren in his own throne world.
Well, Well, it's direct, and if done correctly, would lead to a very conclusive result, but
Yes, see, there was a key part that you said there, Ada, which is if it was done correctly. And we have absolutely no guarantee that Alzen would just succumb to the temptation of the power anyway.
He's already a vampire. He's already susceptible. See, the one thing I doubt that Alzen has realized is that Sangren already has his fangs in him, being a vampire himself.
No
Or he
pun
does,
intended.
and he's trying to cut those strings. I saw a lot of
Regardless.
people in my visions when I was dealing with Sangren. Alzen was one of them.
regardless. While his plan is sound, he may not be the best one to execute. Though,
But I agree with.
if you'll forgive my pessimism, something about me doubts that you're in the present condition to undertake such a task.
To be honest, Ada, we're more equipped than Alzen could ever hope to be.
All I'm saying is that for the time being, while this teleporter of his is still incapable of doing what he needs it to do, perhaps take the opportunity to temper yourselves further.
Fair enough.
In the time being, if you'd like to do some research for me, or with me, I could use the help. Trying to compile some information.
It'll be just like old times.
We'll be happy to document some information for you.
I will not get in the way.
Ada, when is Papa supposed to come back?
He usually tries to come in before the sun sets, but it depends on how gracious he's feeling. If he's feeling particularly up to the task of handling some vampires, he might be back around midnight. Otherwise, you could expect him back in a couple of hours.
Okay.
And with you guys going to help him compile some information down here in the library, that is where we're going to cut things off for now.
Duddy buddies.
Yeah! We got some good ends this week. Holy crap.
Yay.
And post-apocalypse can't be all frowns.
Although, I'm not gonna lie, this really takes a lot of the edge off of Edelyn's backstory, with her parents being alive and her brother not actually being dead.
Well, to be fair, you thought they were dead. You can still have the angst part of it with the fact that they kind of left without telling you.
Also, one lost his true name. Also, the other's turning into a vampire.
Yeah, we're
Yes.
gonna deal with that when Aethlin actually shows up on screen, don't worry.
It's gonna be great.
She may or may not stab him. Not to kill him, just to stab him. Because that's how rogues say hello to each other.
He's got vampirism. He'll heal.
See,
In any case,
we get to have it live instead of just like scarring backstory. No, it's now live.
As always, we thank all of you for coming in and listening with us tonight. Tomorrow is Sunday. What do we got going on Sunday? Do we have anything going on Sunday?
You caught me as I was putting a chip in my mouth.
Oh, yeah. Off of your shoulder and into your mouth.
With the town of Culden freed from its curse from the night hag Myrtle, all that is left for the group to do is to keep going south to the city of Aston. And that is Vernheim on Sundays.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Monday, troubleshooters?
Yes, they are back. So apparently the team finds itself having returned home, but not everything is quite as they seem. We haven't gotten an update yet on what's happening on Monday's episode yet, but it'll be good.
Beautiful. Tuesday, World at War?
Yes, the band
World at
finally
War.
starts to investigate Violetta's death, as well as their suspicions that Dixie, their suspicions of Dixie of the Varigan band. Did she send the assassins after Robert, or is this another attempt to pit the bands against each other?
Wednesday, All Skull Nights?
Yes, sir.
Beautiful.
The party finds themselves in the middle of chaos when a huge fire elemental appears in out of nowhere during the Midsummer Festival. While seeing signs against the gigantic being of flame, the group notices smaller elementals breaking off. What will the party do?
Thursday, your campaign, Knights
Ransom.
Ransom. What do we got going on?
We didn't have session this week, so it's the exact same thing that was last week. But having met the Clockwork Caravan and dealt with a Manticore, they finally caught up to the fighting force in Thropes, and it's camped outside of a gas. The Knight Lieutenant was waiting for them, arms crossed, and watching them approach. What is going on, and how does it impact the party?
Aw, yeah. Friday. What do we have Friday?
Friday is still the horror campaign that we're doing in conjunction with Precarious, but if you are a DM and you are looking to have a platform to stream on and you got a story to tell, please get in contact with Otter or Heath, and we will get you squared away because we do currently have a Friday slot. Open and available.
Hey, DMs. Do it. Do it.
You won't
You got a
regret
story
it.
to tell? Do it. Do it.
Maybe.
Just do it.
Maybe.
Do it. Pretty please.
And the next
We'll
Saturday,
enjoy.
we're back here with you.
Yes! As the party comes to terms with all of this new knowledge that they have gleaned from another section of Nelahir's library. Oh God! An unseen God compels me!
Yes, also stretch, ladies and gentlemen, if you did not watch me do that.
The party must contend with an assault of new knowledge from Rallin, the library, the village, and Alzan von Kars himself, and decide on a course of action for the future. Once again, as always, thank every single one of you for coming and watching. And remember, wash your hands, wear a mask, get vaccinated.
Mask.
Did I say wear a mask? I meant wear that mask. That one. The only acceptable one. If you don't have a plague mask, buy one. Get it with a filter installed. Do it. Be kind to one another. And roar for initiative. Have a great night.
Player put at the end.